Hello there, welcome back to the Fantasy Threesome FPL podcast on our new Monday slot. We're going to try and be here every Monday lunchtime. We'll record so we can be one of the first out there for you, and so we can be horrendously out of date by the weekend when you actually need our advice. So we're going to be here for you. I am here with this man. How are you, mate?
Well, I'm not quite as excited as that voice there, but yeah, unfortunately, my kind of pre-fixtures enthusiasm has gone after 1 week. So Angry Ant is back.
Good.
Stupid game. There was a reason I deleted my account at the end of last season, and yeah, I found it after Gameweek 1. But we'll come on to that, I'm sure.
Okay. Now, someone who was really angry on Friday is Mike. How are you, Mike?
Woman of Sugar. Hi. Yeah, I'm okay, thank you.
Again.
Yeah, not bad at all. In good spirits. Good spirits.
So I saw you both on Saturday, and you said, Phil, you're doing that thing where you get really angry on social media again, because of the leaks that there were apparently. So, we are the people's FPL podcast. That's how I'm championing it, and I'm suggesting that you don't get much data, you don't get much help, but you do get consolation from people who are also doing bad. So,
not from here, you don't.
Okay, so Friday the news broke apparently quite a way before the deadline that John Stones was out. Mike, Mike, I will read your messages here. Any swear words, I will swap for another word. What word would you like me to swap them for?
Blinking, blink,
blinking. Okay, cool. So this is at 12 minutes past 7 on Friday evening from Mike. I'm fuming. The absolute blinker with his hipster blinking goatee and his inability to wear sportswear properly. Stick your turtleneck jumper and cargo pants up your blinking blink. I took Alvarez out. He starts. I champion Stones. And he leaves him to tuck into a chicken blinking fried rice and watch the game on Sky Sports. Rumours Gabriel is injured too ahead of tomorrow. Get this in the bin.
Wow, how quickly fortunes can change, and with it spirits. Because actually I had a reasonable week after all that. I was frustrated by the Stones thing, and probably all the more actually by the Gabriel thing, because I've got a decent bench, so I didn't really need him coming on for 1 point and 4 minutes to play. But yeah, quite happy. Shall I talk you through my week?
You can do. So we're recording, like I said, Monday lunchtime. So some of us have still got our captains in play.
Oh, here we go. Bloody Rashford.
Well, I've still got Shaw and Fernandez to play tonight.
Oh, I'm screwed.
But I currently sit on 65 points.
Okay.
So I captained Haaland. The only one of us three that captained Haaland.
How original.
Incredible scenes.
First game of the weekend. Didn't really want that. Really want it.
Fair enough. So 26 points for him. 5 for Watkins with that all-important headed assist. And Burmo, yeah, I called it, didn't I, lad? 7 points there.
Hang on. Who did you? Hang on. Sorry, I've been updating the soundboard. Who did you captain?
Who did I captain? I captained Haaland. Oh, that's lovely.
Tenuous.
It was worth the wait.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. Anyway, that was 2-3 players ago. I'll carry on. Haaland 26, Watkins 5, and Burmo 7. Happy days. Now they laughed at me last week when I said he was playing. They laughed at me even more when they found out Kane was going and I was sticking with him. But James Maddison, oh, you're all going to be jumping on him now. 9 sweet points from Madders. Couple of assists there.
How has he got 2 assists? How has he got 2 assists?
That second one, he was tackled for crying out loud.
Came off him. And then I've got Saliba with 5, still with 2, and Gabriel with 1. So I took out Estupinan at the last minute to bring in Gabriel, which was, I'll be honest, on reflection of disappointment. But I'm all Chelsea on my bench, including Chilwell for 7. So yeah, look,
but you don't get points.
You don't get anything. You don't. But his price will inevitably rise as people jump on him, and his price goes up, and his points go up. So, very happy with Jackson and Chilwell on my bench. So 65, Shaw and Fernandez to come in. Happy days. And I do believe, lads, we're 1 week in. Mikey's at the top.
Well, listen, hang on. Just chill your boots.
The top of us 3, yes.
Yes.
Now, if I'd captained Haaland, which I didn't,
yes,
my captain is Rashford. He plays tonight. I would be above you. So there's not too much difference in it at the moment, as we speak.
That's the importance of that captaincy. It's so crucial, lads. You'll learn this as time goes by.
I took a couple of punts in my team. So I had Haaland, but obviously didn't captain him. João Pedro got 7, Saka 10. I had Salah, he got 5 and then went off angry. So I'm slightly worried about that.
Worried about his hand.
Why?
Good grief. There was an awful lot of plaster he was pulling off. I don't know if you saw that.
A lot of bandaging.
Yeah.
He hurt himself gardening.
He wasn't doing a very good job of taking it off as well. It was sort of bits and bits. It was like me. It was like me trying to unwrap a well-wrapped birthday present. Just bits were coming off. He was pulling at it and just bits came away.
Well, one of my
Find the end, Mohammed, and give it a proper around the wrist.
Okay.
Thanks, Mike. My weekend wasn't going great, and then I see that Harvey Barnes, who was one of my punts, is benched. So I was furious. And then we were on the way out on Saturday, weren't we? And he came on, got an assist, got 2 bonus points, got a goal, 11 points. For that is a huge differential for me. And so
it was lovely having you in my car at that point.
Yeah. So I was thinking, this is good. I'm looking forward to my Mudryk haul on Sunday as well. Nope, benched on for the last 12 minutes. Didn't barely touch the ball. Chelsea are playing a system which doesn't suit him at all. So that punt feels like it's backfired already. And then it was, what was it? It was, the Arsenal game. Yeah, we had the Arsenal game Saturday lunchtime, and this happened.
Yeah.
So Timber, my other little sneaky one. I don't want Saliba. I don't want Gabriel. He's out of reach. So I get Timber, and then he gets booked for a bad tackle in which he injured himself and goes off. So 0 points for him. But don't worry, I've also got this guy.
Wow! Sorry.
Wow, that's
Pau
amazing.
Torres Rangers.
Yeah, I didn't know whether to just. I didn't know whether to just leave it as Pau, but I thought.
What about Boom Boom Pow by Black Eyed Peas? That might have worked.
Yeah, that would have worked better in reality.
You got that boom boom pow.
I don't like Will.i.am. I don't like him.
Is that what? Because he won't pronounce his name right?
Correct.
Okay, I thought it might be.
Seems fair. He's
a big fan of himself, so I thought that the Go Pau Torres Rangers would be better. But I've taken your feedback on board. Pau Torres, I see that Mings is injured on like the 26th minute, and I'm thinking, well, here comes Pau Torres, and it doesn't matter that they've conceded because he's got 60 minutes in the tank here, and if they don't concede now, then that's a bonus. He'll still get his 2 points, and of course, Mings takes ages rolling around on the floor with his bad knee, which I'm very sad about. I love Tyrone Mings, and Pau Torres comes on 20 seconds too late to get 2 points, and then concedes another 3 goals, so ends up on 0 points. So that was joy. So most of my punts haven't worked apart from Harvey Barnes, and even he started on the bench.
It's nice for you to roll the dice a bit, though. You know, you've looked outside the template teams there, and you've given it a whirl.
Well, my plan was, because I wanted Barnes this week, because I just had a feeling that Barnes was going to do something at home, that atmosphere, I figured he would start and not Anthony Gordon. That was a bit of a shocker. And then my plan was to move Barnes on because I've got half a million in the bank. Barnes to Mount, depending on how Mount does tonight. But I've already got to rip up the plan because, so Timber obviously is a problem. Mudryk, problem. Pau Torres should now play. It's whether to panic. I'm used to wildcarding sort of game week 2 or 3 and just seeing how the teams are settling down and picking things. But I don't know whether to wildcard this week just on the basis of the 3 players.
Feels
or whether
too early.
Do I sit and hold tight?
I'd maybe make a couple of changes for sure.
A couple.
I mean, your bench looks weak.
Thank you.
Very weak. You've got Baldock from Sheffield United, and you've got Cameron Archer, who is yet to make his move anywhere. Now, I think Archer could well make his move to a Premier League club, but even so, it's a weak-looking bench.
Sheffield United with Archer, isn't there? That's why I kept him. And then Sheffield United started Osalu or whatever his name is up front, who's 4.5 million striker. So.
How about they stank the place out, didn't they? I mean, they're in all sorts of trouble, Sheffield United.
Yeah,
all sorts of trouble.
They weren't great, were they?
I mean, I'd be looking to put defenders that are playing. I'd be targeting defenders that are playing Sheffield United because I do not see them scoring many.
No.
Let's we not forget Bournemouth lost 9-0 last season around this time and still stayed up. So I'm not going to write anyone off yet.
They did, but their defensive numbers didn't massively pick up. They were still defensively quite frail.
It's a long old season, boys. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It is a long old season.
Look great, and I think the same applies to Luton, who could have lost quite easily by 7 or 8 if Brighton had their shooting boots on.
Oh, yeah, João Pedro.
Yeah, that's.
Come on, mate.
I was unpleasantly surprised by how well Brighton played. I got all my Brighton out apart from Steele. Stupinan came out. Matoma came out. Any thoughts I had of João Pedro came out. And then they hit 4. Anthony, we haven't heard about your team yet, and you're telling us it's a marathon, not a sprint. So I suspect you were nearly as bad as Phil.
I was worse than Phil.
Oh, worse than Phil. Okay.
No, you can't be worse than me because your captain played and did well.
No, I'm on 49 points. So it wasn't great. I'm unfortunately not cool enough to see anything about. Oh, okay, good. That's lasted.
You had Tyrone Mings. Oh, amazing.
Oh, don't take pleasure in lovely Tyrone doing his knee.
Oh, he's a friend of the show.
He is.
He's a friend of the show. Have you got the clip, Phil? You got the clip, Tyrone?
Yeah. I wonder where that's gone then. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, if I find it, I'll interrupt Anthony by pressing it.
Okay, good. Okay. I look forward to that. Unfortunately, I'm not cool enough to hear of any leaks or anything like that. So I did have Gabriel in my defence for that 1 point starting, which was amazing. I had Odegaard, who did nothing, got 2. Saka, my captain, I thought was a good shout. I wanted to go different to Haaland. Like Phil, I don't like captaining in the first game, and I thought Man City would find it harder than that. So I was fairly frustrated when I saw that Haaland had scored after 2 minutes. So yeah, I had Saka, who got 10, doubled to 20. Matoma got 5, which was all right. Obviously, I had Haaland, so there was 13 points there. But then, it's a bit of a trouble after that. Jackson there with only the 1 point as he got booked.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
Yeah, indeed. And Callum Wilson, who's seemingly going to be behind Isak for Newcastle. I mean, he did come on and get me 5 points, but the fact he's not starting isn't particularly ideal, especially with Newcastle's fixtures coming up. Kirkes, the fullback for Bournemouth, who actually looked very impressive. Probably more so going forward than defensively, it must be said. But just 2 points for him. So I do have Unana, what's your name? Shaw and Bruno Fernandes still to play, but unfortunately, so do you boys. You've still got some assets now as well. So I'm not going to really gain anything on you there unless Unana serves a penalty or something. So
if Bruno scores, I'm in trouble because you've both got him and I've got Rashford.
But as Mike rightly pointed out, if you want to see a weak bench, check this out. Mudryk, which I changed at the last minute for her. Bloody Harvey Barnes. I mean, to be honest, I laugh. It's not. I'm not bothered because Harvey Barnes would have been on my bench, which would have been sickening to see that voice hall coming in. So I'm actually quite glad I did take him out. But yeah, Mudryk for a point. Poor old Tyrone with his season-ending injury by the looks of it, and then I've also got Baldock as my third sub. So my team's a mess at the moment because I've got Gabriel not playing, Mudryk not playing, Mings injured, Callum Wilson not playing, and Baldock is useless. So what's that? 5 players?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
That is a worry. And you've also persisted, despite my warnings to you last week, with playing Darren Randolph as your substitute keeper, despite the fact he's third choice.
Love a bit of Alexandra Burke. I felt any right to stick him in there. Yeah,
I mean, you're spoiled. You're spoiled for choice with 4 million options at the moment, with both Turner and Areola.
Nah, why bother when you can have Darren Randolph?
Okay,
it seems an odd decision. But Ant, if I may talk you off the ledge slightly, Callum Wilson last year he kept coming off the bench and getting goals, game after game after game after game, and then Eddie put him in, and he also scored goals. Him and Isak, you could do a double up there. I've seen someone else is doing that already, but their fixtures they're not looking great at the moment. When did Newcastle's fixtures turn? Sort of game week 5?
Yeah, more like Brentford home. Then they got Sheffield United away, Burnley home, West Ham away, Palace home, Wolves away. So yeah, nice little spell between the middle of September, the middle of October. But I mean, I might bench him, but yeah, it's not ideal when he's possibly not even an option to come off. But he did get 5 points at least. But yeah, when I heard that he hadn't started, my heart sank. Like just when I thought this couldn't get any worse, it did. But just continuing from where I left off last season. Joys
at the moment is that Mike is set up very well for this run of good fixtures that Chelsea have got. Chelsea didn't look terrible yesterday, and Chilwell looks like an essential player. James went off injured. What a surprise. Chilwell was also kicked and was limping around for a bit, but Chilwell looks like you've got to have him. So with 500,000 in the bank, I'm kind of thinking I'd get rid of Timber.
Yeah.
And then bring in Chilwell. Either that or I go down to this guy.
No.
Tim Ream?
By the way, Fulham only won that game because they were playing Everton.
Everton had so many chances.
Let's get this straight. When obviously we were all together Saturday night, and you mentioned that Everton had played well and missed some good chances. I couldn't quite believe how good the chances were until I watched Match of the Day. I mean, they were sitters, absolute sitters. They should have won that game comfortably. So yeah, I wouldn't be jumping on a Fulham asset based on that. That was more by luck than judgment.
Who surprised you this weekend then, lads? Of course, this is all with the caveat that we've got one game to go. Were there any players that stood out for you that weren't on your radar going into the weekend?
Raheem Sterling, 7 million.
Yeah,
he was a busy boy. So I could Mudryk to Sterling. Yeah, this is the thing. If I wildcarded, I could get 500,000 off my goalkeeper. Pickford can go in the bin, and I can get Areola and Turner, and hopefully just scrape through with that. Then I can go Mudryk to Sterling, and Timber to Chilwell, and get a couple of Chelsea in there because they look decent.
Yeah, their run is lovely as well now, right through to week 9.
It's James Maddison for me. I mean, I've always rated him. Didn't think he'd make quite such an early impact, especially with Kane gone. But my goodness me, he was class yesterday. I mean, that ball he put in for Romero's goal was an absolute peach. So kind of a sickener that I didn't have him in. But yeah, he was. You're thinking now, wow, good grief, if Spurs had actually kept Kane with that kind of end product they're going to have coming into the box from James Maddison. But yeah, gutted I didn't bring him in because I've always liked him. But
look, boys, I've got to pick you up. I've got to pick you up on 2 things. I was going to let them both go, but Phil, you went from a singular to a plural just now, and
messy.
Yeah, and Anthony,
yes.
you can't have end products coming into the box. That service end product is what James Maddison it finishes off what James Maddison has given.
It's a fair point.
End
Right,
product
right.
cannot come into the box. Just, sorry. A few standouts for me, lads, if I may. Wissa, flagged him up last time out. 6 million up front. He got you 9 points. Little stat here, lads. Did you know that in every single Premier League game that Ivan Toney has not played
They've not
for
lost.
Brentford, both Mbermo and Wissa have scored in every single game that Tony's not played it.
Good grief. What a stat. I mean,
there you go.
I wasn't particularly impressed with either of them. I was watching that game with my brother-in-law, who's a Spurs fan, and I would suggest they got fairly lucky. Quite a soft penalty, and then a bit of an OG, wasn't it? And Mbuemo should have had another one, Mike. He missed an absolute sitter at 2-2.
Just bounced up, didn't it? Just bounced up.
I think you're being very kind. You should bury that. But I'm not going to jump on Brentford assets based on that.
Okay.
Brentford do what Brentford do. They always find a way, don't they?
They do. Well, how about then Nketiah? 5.5 million. Did not see him starting up top.
No, me neither. Yeah, it's a good shout, that.
But yeah, 5.5 mil. It's just whether you've already tripled up on Arsenal, I think is the problem, which a number of people will have done. But I think certainly Pedro owners of Brighton will be looking at, after game week 3, you could very quickly switch to Nketiah, unless his price rises. But I imagine his price will probably fall in line with Pedro. But then you lose, don't you? If it goes up by 0.1 mil, you don't gain that until it goes up to 0.2. And then you only get a 1 mil up. So that could be tricky. But yeah, the swap out to Nketiah would be tempting for me.
It's really becoming a bit of I think doing a podcast also makes you, because you talk about it, you think, oh yeah, I could do this change. Oh, I may as well wildcard. I think if I was just playing this as a casual, just Friday afternoon, make a transfer, maybe 2, then I wouldn't possibly consider the wild card. But now, also Alvarez, De Bruyne is gonna be out for a while.
I called it.
6.5 million, is he?
Yep.
So you could have Alvarez there as well, who looked really good.
I was big on that last week, wasn't I? Big on that. Man City's fixtures these first 10 weeks are cracking. Ridiculous. Admittedly, they're playing Newcastle next, which, Newcastle impressed at the weekend. But I fancy Alvarez to pick up points. And if you're looking at Alvarez compared to Jackson or Ollie Watkins, then, there's certainly questions to be asked there. Like you say, De Bruyne being injured now only strengthens the case for an Alvarez pick.
I just think it's very easy after one game week to knee jerk. We might find that after, on next week's podcast, we're raving about Crystal Palace or something. You just don't know. Or suddenly, what's his chops up front for Everton, who Ant likes with the
Neil Maupay. The poor guy has been getting Twitter abuse. Everton have had to release a statement after somebody talked about his mum being in a grave. I don't think we probably will be talking about Neil Maupay as an asset next week.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Mark the card here that we've spoken about.
Tricky fixes for them.
Yeah, but I just think it's so easy to knee jerk.
You are right. If this was game week 22, we wouldn't all suddenly be deciding to wildcard.
Yeah, this is it. And it's because we've got the money in our pocket, the wild card in our pocket, So, Salah yesterday, he hit the bar, he got an assist. It was a lovely assist. And he had a goal disallowed for a very, very tight offside. So he could have easily come away yesterday with 15, points. So, and he's playing Bournemouth this week. However, because he went off angry, I'm thinking, maybe I'll just get rid. But it'd be insane to do that when he's playing Bournemouth this week, surely.
It would be absolutely insane to get rid of him this week.
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
You'd absolutely keep him in. He's going to fill his boots. I mean, Bournemouth did look still defensively dodgy.
Who would you say is the biggest issue? Mike, as an expert.
Yes.
Who would you say is the biggest issue right now? Timber Mudryk, or just it's probably Timber or Mudryk then if we're keeping.
Well,
Salah.
Timber's your problem because Timber's not going to be fit.
Yeah, but I've got three. I've got who have I got? I've got Shaw.
I need context, Phil. I need context.
Okay, I've got Shaw, Estupinan, and this guy.
Yeah.
At the back.
Yeah.
So that's all right. That'll be okay. 3 defenders. Then in the midfield, because I've only got 2 strikers, I have to play all my midfielders, and they are Barnes, who didn't start, Saka, Salah, Rashford, and then Mudryk, who didn't start, but when he came on, didn't look useful.
Yeah, I think despite Chelsea's fixtures, I think your biggest problem there is probably your midfield because, like you say, you've got to play them all. And I think there are lots of options in the 6.5 that you can look at. I know that you've just poo-pooed Mbermo, but I'd look at him. Also look at the new lad Diaby at Villa who scored at the weekend. Yeah. There are quite a few options at 6.5 there in the midfield that you could swap out that are going to start and pick up points. Whereas, if you can cope without Timber for this week, just have him injured and sat on your bench, then you're not having to spend any points.
Yeah, that's true. And to be honest, when I was watching that Arsenal game, the highlights at least, Timber was he wasn't going forward at all. I thought he was going to be marauding. Arsenal started with Thomas Blooming Partey on right back.
Very
even
strange.
Though, it was really weird the setup they had. Yet they had Timber playing left back when they had left backs on the bench. I just didn't get it.
Marauding is interesting. It's an adjective I think you only ever hear in football.
That or piracy.
Piracy?
Yeah. On the high seas, be a marauding fan of pirates, can you?
Do you hear about that? I don't hear that.
Not these days,
I used to hear about it all the time. Oh, it was always the chatter. Those marauding pirates. I remember that back in the 90s.
Give it 300 years ago. I think people probably said marauding all the time. It's just probably lost traction.
Sure.
Much for you on that one.
Mate, I'd be tempted to shift them both on, to be honest, and spend the 4 points. What the heck? It's early days. Live a little. I have already made my transfer. My transfer was made 25 minutes into the game. I was live between the dugouts at Vitality Stadium on Saturday, and I very quickly logged onto my app and took out Turner and brought in Areola because first half they looked incredibly solid defensively.
You did what?
He basically saying the game was that boring.
Turner for Areola.
So you used your transfer to swap one 4 million second goalkeeper for you to a different 4 million second goalkeeper who you won't.
But he's not a second goalkeeper now, mate. He's a starter.
No, but for you, haven't you got a number? Who's your other goalkeeper?
Oh yeah, Steele.
Right. So
but
you're not even
get long-term planning. But there's no work needed on the rest of my squad, mate. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I might as well just set myself for the future. A bit of forward planning, bit of insurance.
I love this week of the season, and this happens almost every year. Mike suddenly he thinks he's made it, and then
it does, and then. But in reality, we can't laugh because he's beating both of us and quite comfortably so. So it's
let me mop it up while I can, lads.
Yeah, Mike was looking at Haaland and he was seeing this.
Yes. That was a goal.
Classic.
I love Alan Partridge.
Yeah. It's a bit boring, isn't it? I wonder if you should just, no Haaland allowed.
The thing
Make
is,
things a bit more interesting, wouldn't it?
You don't. It's a bit. Captaining Haaland is a bit like watching a Premier League game with VAR, because you celebrate because you think, "Oh, good, my captain scored," and then you kind of think, "Well, yeah, everyone's got him anyway, so it doesn't really matter." It's not really. the excitement of, if when Saka scored for Ant, that's well done, Ant. He's took a punt on it, but it's so defensive, and I get why. And I will captain Haaland this season plenty of times, but it's just so frustrating because it takes a lot of the fun out of the game.
I do understand what you're saying, but it took no fun out of my game this weekend because neither of you had captained him.
Yeah. But if you're not playing against me and Ant,
yeah,
most people.
Well, everyone is. In truth, everyone is.
But they've probably got bigger targets than me and Ant.
Yes,
they'll think. If people are playing for overall rank, then if Haaland scores and he's your captain, it doesn't score, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter what Haaland does in a game because everyone else has captained him.
Correct.
Yes, I do understand. Apart from you two, yes.
It's just a bit, a bit weird. I'm hoping Rashford does something tonight. By the time this comes out, people will be laughing at that comment.
Quite possibly, although they are playing Wolves in a bit of disarray, and of course have our old mate Gary O'Neill in charge, don't they? So you'd certainly expect Manchester United to win that quite comfortably. So you may well be in for some good points there, mate.
You never know. So, and what maintenance is needing to happen for you?
Well, a lot. I need a lot of help here because it's in a right old mess. As I say, I've got players not playing. Mudryk, Wilson. Okay, yes.
I can't believe, right? You copied me of Harvey Barnes, then you pulled out, and then you said, right, I'm going to copy Phil with Mudryk. It's weird that it's complimentary to me, but it seems odd that you've gone down that route because Mudryk is a laughing stock.
Well, he was, but I thought he might be less of a laughing stock this season, and certainly Chelsea have better fixtures than Newcastle do coming up. So, but as I say, I'm not actually bothered about the whole Harvey Barnes thing because he would have been on my bench anyway. So I'm actually quite glad that I took him out because that would have made it even more sickening.
So you've got Mudryk.
Got Mudryk not playing. Callum Wilson not starting. Kirkes, horrible fixtures in a team that can't defend. Gabriel not playing. And Tyrone Mings injured, who I was thinking of replacing him with Levi Colwill with Chelsea's fixtures coming out. That'd be a like-for-like at 4.5 million and fairly low ownership at 3.2. So may well bring him in. He played 90 minutes yesterday against a good Liverpool team. So yeah, I'm looking, 4 or 5 changes here at least, and I'm probably going to have at least take a -4 to at least get an 11 out, which considering this is game week 2, feels like my team's basically Bournemouth. So many injuries this early in the season.
There's nothing wrong with wildcarding now, as long as you're not just chasing last week's points. If suddenly you find that your players aren't playing or you've got tons of injuries, there's nothing wrong with wildcarding because if you think, oh yeah, I'll maybe leave it another couple of weeks and just have a bit of a rubbish team for a couple of weeks, you're further behind by that point, and then you wildcard anyway, and you've missed out on the points that you would have got. The first game week of the season, we've kind of all gone for teams who have got either a good first game or they've got a good little run. But teams now, Brentford have got Fulham, Palace and Bournemouth, so that's not a bad run. Chelsea, now they've got Liverpool out of the way. West Ham, Luton, Forest, Bournemouth. They've got a lovely, lovely run. Arsenal have still got good fixtures coming up. Spurs, suddenly, they play quite attacking. And they've got Man United at home next week, but Bournemouth, Burnley, and Sheffield United after that.
It's almost as if my team's completely set up for these.
Unbelievable.
Beautiful.
How did our punch get on?
That less successful. I had Kulusevski.
Oh yeah.
So nil point there.
Anthony?
We'd be surprised to hear they went for a player who didn't even start. So that was
Who
good.
was that?
Justin Kluivert.
Oh dear.
And I went for
who
may or may not play tonight, but we need to do a quiz because we need to know who's getting their captain picked by a listener. So you ready for a quiz?
Let's do it.
It's a quiz, it's a quiz, it's a quiz, it's a quiz. The loser gets their captain picked by a listener with great instinct. Sometimes cruel and sometimes kind. The listener is always right. It's a quiz, it's a quiz, it's a quiz, it's a quiz. Oh, the long version. On the Chip Advisor podcast, we used the short version. I forgot how long the long version was.
Really is great.
Do you? Shall I do my question first? Give you boys a chance to think of a question.
Go for it.
Think of a question. I'm as with everything regards to FPL, I'm completely prepared.
Okay. Okay, so I've got the top 15 most transferred in players as of this game week, preparing for game week 2. Okay, and I want you
Okay.
to take it in turns to name one, or do you want to do how many can you name? Which would you prefer?
Oh, let's take it in turns.
Okay, so most transferred in player. Mike, you can go
Since-
first. Since the deadline on Saturday. So, deadline on Friday, 6:30 on Friday PM.
Okay. Well, I'd like to start by saying Isak, please.
Most transferred in player, 232,000 transfers.
There you go.
Knee jerk. He's the only player who's gone up in price as well. He's now 7.6.
There you go. Anthony.
Okay. I'm going to go for a player who we've talked about here, Mr. Chilwell.
Yeah, fourth most transferred in, 133,000 transfers.
I'll say Maddison, please.
Okay, let's just see.
Hello,
Oh, no.
darkness, my old friend.
Oh no. No,
Ow.
no,
Come
no.
to talk with you again.
You are kidding me.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, he's
That
not in the
is-
top 15, mate.
Well, more for them.
He's actually 16, just to make it worse.
Oh dear.
Oh,
you
you're
love to see
kidding
it.
me.
You love to see
No,
it.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, he's 15th. Shall I tell you who you could have had?
Yes, please.
So Saka, second most transferred in. The third most transferred in player is Rodri of Man City, their defensive midfielder who got a goal.
I mean,
Wow.
by the way, just to stop you there, you talk about me chasing last week's points. There is a theme here, isn't there?
Yep. Then you got Chilwell, Saliba, Estupinan, Nathan Ake, love to see it. João Pedro, Rashford, who hasn't even played yet. Weird one. Maybe people going from Salah, I'm not sure. Haaland has been transferred in by 78,000 people. Reece James, who went off injured, has been transferred in by 77,000 people. And Ketia, Watkins, Diaby, and then Mo Salah, ahead of the Bournemouth game, has been transferred in 60,000 times.
Good grief.
Wow.
Well,
So, Ant, do you want to
1-0
do
to
your
me.
quiz? And then
Yeah,
we'll
let's do it.
know. Yeah. What
well,
you
I'm
got?
going to do very similar, but the opposite to you, Philip. I'm going to do the top 15 players that have been transferred out this game week.
Oh, okay.
So again, take it
Okay.
in turns. Phil, why don't you go first?
Okay. Okay. I'll go for this guy.
Yes, he is on there, 7th on the list.
Okay.
Stones taught me to cry. Stones taught me to cry.
Was that the word? Stones?
No. Not sure it was. But yeah, John Stones, please.
Stones
Yep.
taught you to dish out expletives on WhatsApp.
Yeah, sorry about that. I do apologise. It's not normally my style to F and Jeff, but I did
No, I
on
was gonna
Friday
say,
night.
You
You
really
did turn
did.
it. You turned into me, which was quite lovely to see. Yes, 2nd on the list.
Okay.
I don't know how many people would have had him in, but De Bruyne.
Yeah, he's top. 347,000 managers have taken him out. Yeah. So
Wow,
yeah,
just-
you've got 1 and 2. Back to you, Michael.
Tyrone Mings.
Oh, good one.
Oh, please don't talk to me about poor old Tyrone. Yeah, unsurprisingly,
Oh.
the 4th highest on that list. 145,000.
Bits. Yeah, I'll go Gabriel.
Oh, he's their 5th. Yep, over 100,000 players have taken him out.
Okay.
I'm going to suggest Mudrick.
Good one.
Um,
No, because people wouldn't have had him in the first place, mate.
Phil, have
Oh,
you
they're
got the
thinking
music ready,
number would.
please?
Oh,
Hang on,
Please
no.
play the music.
Hang on, let me just.
Shh.
I don't know
Game.
which one to play. I could play this for me.
Yeah, well done, Phil. I mean, just
Hang on,
Just
we'll
to-
play this for me.
Yes. 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 That was a goal.
I mean, I'm not saying that wasn't the greatest choice, Mike, but he was not even on the
Mudryk.
first page. He's not even on the first page.
Well, he should
Oh,
be.
Good grief. I mean, one of the most obvious names you boys missed off was Harry Kane. He was third on the list. Darwin Núñez. Darwin Núñez.
Oh, yeah, that's a
7th
good one.
there. Again, I'm not saying that people panic or anything here, but Martin Odegaard, okay, only got 2 points, but Arsenal's fixtures are good, but not good enough
Wow.
for 58,000 managers. He's gone. Eze, I'm amazed at that. I thought he looked really impressive for Palace in their win against Sheffield United. He's on there. Ollie Watkins, Ruben, Kieran Trippier. Oh dear, oh dear.
I watched that game and thought I want Trippier in.
Yeah, he did look good, but at 6.5 million, he's quite high. Zinchenko, Callum Wilson. I need to get him out. I need to join those 46,000 managers already done it. And Gabriel Jesus, who's got an unknown return date with a knee injury, was number 15. So, Mike, I'm afraid, as you've lost both, that will be your captain pick this week.
Oh,
Well, that's fine. No, I'd like that, please. I'd like that very much. Who will be picking our captain this week?
Well, we don't know because United are still to play.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, I'm sure whoever they are, we'll work together. We always do. I'll take it on the chin, lads.
This is where your downfall could become, because as we know, listeners, you don't have to be nice. You could be as unfriendly as you want to be.
Nobody has to be nice any of the time, but
Correct.
we more often than not we choose to be, don't we?
Well, yeah, interesting. That was the quiz. It's 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 the quiz. So, with the transfer window, quickly approaching, who do you think is going to sign Bamford?
The physio
Absolutely
room.
nobody. The physio. Poor old Paddy B. Yeah,
you get like I've got a physio I sometimes go to for my leg muscles, quads they're called, and in the waiting room they've got a skeleton by the door. Like one of those big medical skeletons, and they could just employ Bamford to stand there, and people could just go, "This muscle here, knackered. That's what's happened to you." Just like that. Poor Paddy B.
Poor Paddy B.
Yeah.
Listen, we've referenced our punts there. We should probably come up with some punts for this week, should we?
Oh, what a lovely idea!
That's a great idea. Yes.
I'm
What are you
going to
having for lunch today,
absolutely.
Mike?
Soup.
Oh,
Yeah,
What
not
type?
very exciting.
That's incredibly
I like and with no bread.
Pardon?
It's
Soup with no
Monday,
bread.
lads. I'm starting the week with good intentions. Yeah, I've bought in some grounded white pepper to put on the top as some kind of accessory.
that is your carb.
That's my carb. That's my treat. It's my
You gotta
ground
have
white
bread
pepper.
with soup. Good grief.
Anyway, my punt choice, lads,
Oh, you go first.
is
You
I'm
go.
going first because
pick
I
Sterling.
guarantee neither of you will be looking to pinch this one off me. Serge Aurier,
Wow.
Oh, you can keep him.
Home to Sheffield
home
United
to
on
Sheffield
Friday night.
United on Saturday, and he on Friday night, I believe, actually, and he played a full 90 for Forest at the weekend.
Anthony, I'm not trying to influence you in your punt because you've got your own brain and you can work out things on your
debatable.
own. But I've just checked, and Neil Mopé is under 2% owned.
Spoiler alert.
1.3%
I'm going for the much maligned Neil Mopé
Are you?
away at Villa. Yeah, let's do it.
Oh,
Why not?
that's lovely.
Why
What?
not?
That is That is gold
Poor old
dust,
Neil.
that
I
is.
think he's going to use all this abuse. He's going to turn that. He's going to do a 360 here, and he's going to shush a few people up. He's going to score a weldy. There you go. Neil Mopay,
Okay.
1.2. Let's do it.
I'd love that.
Wow.
I'd really
I would
like
love that. I would love that. No one deserves that dog's abuse.
I mean,
so.
the
Come on, Neil.
couple of absolute swerves in terms of the wildcards this week. Phil, are you going a bit more mainstream?
I'll be going for Raheem Sterling, who's got 1.9% ownership and is 7 million. He may well be in my team as well. He is playing
Ooh.
away at West Ham, I think.
And it's live on Sky. We know you'll have a live game to watch your captain in.
Oh, I do. He's not.
Half
He's not
four
my
on
captain.
Sunday.
But yeah. Who would you go for as captain then this week, gents? If I obviously Haaland's got Newcastle at home. Fine.
Salah.
Salah at Bournemouth. No, Salah
Yeah,
at home.
look, I mean-
Bournemouth, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm very, very happy to be proved wrong. Salah or even Trent. Now we've. Trent was back at right back, wasn't he? This weekend predominantly, rather than the holding midfield role in it. A slightly more advanced role than he would normally play, and perhaps having more influence in the middle. Previously, but Bournemouth are notoriously frail from set pieces, although stood up to the one of the more physical and taller teams in the league in West Ham this weekend. I mean, actually, we look really good from defensive set plays, but we are notoriously bad at set pieces. I think you also need to. So Trent maybe is an option with the set pieces in mind. Bournemouth also played the third highest, most advanced line of defence this weekend, after Brighton and Arsenal. So
Wow.
they do the same again against Liverpool, and I fear the worst. I really, really, really hate to be proved wrong, but Salah breaking through with pace on a counter, that there feels a sense of inevitability about that. But please, may I be wrong?
What about old Szoboszlai for Liverpool? Who he was on some set pieces, I noticed.
Yeah, possibly.
He's 7 million.
Possibly.
I probably wouldn't forget I said that. I probably wouldn't want to do that. Villa were playing an insanely high line against Newcastle and seemingly refused to learn from their mistakes. It was weird. They were just sticking with it the whole game.
Well, perhaps that's where Neil Mopay will come into his own.
He
exploit
will,
that
boys.
high line.
You watch. Come next week.
So I'll give you the fixtures quickly, lads.
Please do.
Oh, yes.
So Friday night, 7:45 kickoff. As I mentioned, Nottingham Forest home to Sheffield United.
So
Pick a
when's the
player,
deadline?
pick an asset, lads.
When's the deadline? What, 6:15 then? Friday?
6:15. Yeah, pick an asset.
That's not. Hang on. Is that even? Is that on TV?
No.
Yes.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Oh, well.
To be honest,
no.
it's whose loss is it really? Forest versus Sheffield United.
Well, I'll be
on that.
finding some way of watching that because I need to see Serge Aurier do his thing. But you want to pick an asset in that one, lads? Just go route one and Brian Johnson.
Elanga.
Gibbs White.
Oh, Elanga, very pacey for Forest. Very pacey.
Came off the bench, didn't he?
Yeah, he left Saka for dead, didn't he? When the Forest scored their consolation. Yeah, very, very quick.
Okay. Then we move to Saturday. No lunchtime kickoff on Saturday. But we've got 3 o'clock matches, and they are Fulham against Brentford. Pick an asset.
Wissa.
Harry Wilson.
Okay. Liverpool against Bournemouth.
Yeah, it's got to be. Jota looked dangerous. I fear Jota might be the secret assassin this weekend.
Okay. Anthony, you're going to go Diaz. You were backing him last week.
I was, wasn't I? In previously, why not? Let's go for Diaz. Let's face it. Any offensive Liverpool assets will be in the money here.
Okay. Wolves against Brighton.
Yeah, Solly March. It was lovely to see
I was
him
gonna
get a
say
goal
that.
when no one was
Yeah,
talking
good
about
header.
him. Because last year he had a blinding season, and this year his price has just gone up to match the same as Matoma, and people are like, I ain't interested anymore. So Solly March.
I mean, I love a Stupinan in this fixture. I think I think he's probably going to get clean sheet points, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him get an attacking return as well.
I'll go for Evan Ferguson.
Okay, off the bench again this weekend,
Indeed,
but
indeed.
but yeah,
He's
okay.
going to
Your
rotate
team?
that, isn't he? That's going to cause Pedro problems. He's going to be rotating the strikers and the forward line in that Brighton team.
Well, especially once Europe comes their way as well.
Yeah.
Tea time kickoff on Saturday is Tottenham against Manchester United.
It's got to be James Maddison, isn't it?
Has it?
Yeah,
I think so.
They won't have Maguire at the back to help him out of trouble.
Yeah, it's true that.
So
England's
that's
best
not,
defender, so it makes sense.
Not a bad shout. It didn't look good for Son, did it? He didn't really get
No,
involved.
he was very quiet, very quiet.
He was played out wide, wasn't he? And I wonder if perhaps he'd thrive from playing through the middle. You know, in Kane's absence, he always seemed to do a good job doing that. But Richarlison was the pick, and I suspect Richarlison will continue to be the pick for the time being. Okay, Man City Newcastle, unusually 8:00 kickoff on Saturday night. We're meant to be out playing shuffleboard, hopefully, Anthony.
Okay.
But 8:00 kickoff, Man City Newcastle. Who's your pick? Tricky one, this.
Shuffleboard at 7:30. Bit of find a pub at 8:00.
Yeah, lovely old job.
If I've got to really I've got to speak to my wife. 2 Saturdays in a row is a bit of a push.
I mean, just
Sure, it'll be
reminder
fine.
that it is my birthday, but once a year. But that's fine. I'm going to go for Alvarez.
Nice. Okay, Phil.
I'm going to go for Almiron.
Clever. See what you did there.
Oh, and I'll go for Alan Maximan, despite the fact he's moved. Sunday, we've got just the 2 games on the Sunday. Aston Villa against Everton. Oh, this feels. I know that they were, wide open spaces with Villa against Newcastle, but this feels like a nice game for Villa to set things straight.
Neil Mopay, job done.
For me, it's got to be this guy.
By the way, he was appalling at the weekend.
Who? Pau Torres Rangers?
He was abysmal when he came on. Didn't know where he was meant to be on the pitch.
No, because they were playing a ridiculous system against a team with pace.
Yeah, he looked out of his depth, but that's fine. Good news for Neil Mopay on that one.
Oh, I feel like this is set up beautifully for Ollie Watkins. You know what? I'm very tempted to captain Ollie Watkins in that one.
Wow.
I think.
Well, I mean,
have you got Ollie Watkins?
Yeah.
Unfortunately for you, the captain pick is out of your hands. But yeah, please do carry on.
Oh yes, of course it is. I'd forgotten. Next up, then, 4:30 is West Ham Chelsea. Another 4:30 kickoff for Chelsea on a Sunday afternoon. This time at the home of West Ham. What do we think?
I'm going to go for their new signing, James Ward-Prowse. Loves a set
Ooh.
piece.
I fancy Enzo Fernandez to get an assist or two.
Yeah,
he was on a lot of set pieces. He was brilliant yesterday.
It was very good, and only 5.5 million in the game. So
Doesn't get many shots away, but
no, he'll pick up some clean sheets along the way. Yeah, okay. And then finally, we finish on Monday night with Crystal Palace at home to Arsenal. Difficult one to call, but I like Nketiah at this 5.5. He's my pick there.
Yeah, I like Eze.
Yeah, very good shout. I'm going to go for Odegaard. Quiet first game, but he is quality, so hopefully that will come through in this one. But I was very pleased to see Jeff Lerman get particular praise on Match Today for playing for Palace, doing what he's been doing for Bournemouth for years, and they never mentioned it. But anyway, the man is class, and Palace have got one hell of a defensive midfielder on their hands there. So Arsenal won't have it easy, will they?
No.
Well, you look at clubs shelling out 115 million for Caicedo.
Yeah.
And you got Jefferson Lerman there, who's gone on a free.
He was
yeah.
quality.
Yeah.
Well,
Gents, time has beaten us.
It has. It has.
Much like Mike has this week. So
yeah,
enjoy it, Mike. I really hope you do. And we will see you next week. Have a good game week 2. And if you do wildcard, send us over your teams. So I'll be interested to see it.
Goodbye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.